Restoration looks like a cleaning business from the outside, but in reality, the best restoration companies sit at the intersection of emergency response, insurance claims, and reconstruction. And that is exactly why the economics can get interesting. Many firms work across water, fire, mold, storm, and rebuild services instead of just one narrow task of cleaning. This is not a tiny niche. IBISWorld puts the U.S. damage restoration services industry at about $7.2 billion in 2025, with roughly 60,020 businesses in the category. On a broader global basis, Mordor Intelligence estimates disaster restoration services at about $43.03 billion in 2025. The demand is simple. When a pipe bursts, a fire hits, mold spreads, or a storm damages property, the customer usually cannot wait. They need someone fast. And many of those losses are tied to insurance-covered events. Forbes and Allstate both note that standard homeowners insurance generally covers sudden and accidental water damage and fire damage, while flood damage is usually excluded unless there is separate flood coverage. The money works because the average job is not tiny. HomeAdvisor says water damage restoration costs homeowners about $3,865 on average in 2025, while Angie says flooded basement cleanup averages around $4,000. Those are homeowner-facing cost estimates, not contractor profit, but they show why even a relatively small number of jobs can create real revenue. So if a company closed just 8 average-size water jobs in a month, that would be a little over $30,000 in monthly revenue before labor, equipment, and overhead. And that is before higher-value fire, mold, or reconstruction work. The most profitable restoration companies usually do more than extraction and drying. They use the emergency job as the entry point, then expand into remediation, cleanup, contents work, and reconstruction. That matters because the first phone call may start as mitigation, but the bigger revenue often comes from the broader project scope that follows. ServiceMaster, for example, explicitly markets full-service fire and water cleanup and reconstruction support, which reflects how the category is structured. And let's not forget about businesses that need this work done to start making money again after a disaster, even deeper pockets. And the for-sale market shows how strong the economics can look when a company is established. A current biz-buy-sell listing in Virginia Beach shows a restoration company with about $1,267,448 in gross revenue, $226,818 in cash flow, and an asking price of $325,900. Another current listing in Wichita shows about $1.7 million in revenue, $475,000 in cash flow, and an asking price of $524,999. That means the Wichita example is being marketed at barely more than 1 year of cash flow, which shows how much buyers care about route to market, owner dependence, and local risk, not just top-line sales. What makes restoration different from many service businesses is urgency. In a lot of industries, the customer can shop around for weeks getting multiple quotes. In restoration, speed matters. Trust matters, and being first on site matters. That gives strong operators a chance to win work fast, build insurer and referral relationships, and turn emergency calls into larger projects. That is why restoration companies can be so profitable. Not because they are glamorous, but because they sit where urgent need, insurance money, and high-value repair work all meet.